What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So in today's video I got a couple big things to talk about, including some potential loot changes coming to Apex in the future. We also have some more updates to audio in the game, as well as some new information on the Chinatown bundles, as well as the April Fool's Day event. So lots of good stuff in today's video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys do enjoy this series. But anyways, to start today's video, I want to show you guys this concept posted to Reddit by username Ben Reported. This only has a few hundred likes currently, but basically he designed a weapon ping wheel that would allow you to ping for any specific weapon in the game. Now, I personally think an idea like this would be really effective for Apex Legends. We know that pings are basically the most important and most influential part of this game, considering that you don't need a microphone to effectively communicate with your teammates. But on the other side, there's probably a lot of people who would take this opportunity to troll if you could ping for specific weapons. Like, we all know someone's going to be pinging for a Mozambique the entirety of the game if this feature does get added. So definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts on that down in the comments below. We also have a tweet from Apex Legends the other day announcing that Twitch drops are finally going to be coming. So if you guys don't know what Twitch drops are, basically if you connect your Twitch account to Apex Legends and you watch the ALGS Winter Circuit on the official Apex Legends Twitch channel, there is a chance you could earn some free rewards. Now, I've never done a Twitch drop for myself before, but I have seen other games that have done them, and these rewards that Apex are giving definitely don't seem that exciting, considering that it's just like a rare tracker, emblem, and banner pose. I've seen a lot of people in the replies of this tweet kind of complaining about this fact, so I'm not sure if this is gonna make me, go and sign up for Twitch and spend all day watching the ALGS, but if you leave it on in the background, there's a chance you could get some free rewards. Now, next up I want to talk to you guys about some big changes to the loot pool that we might be seeing in the future of Apex. So this came from the Reddit post titled "Locked and Loaded was the best takeover this game had. It will be hard to play the base game without it, but I hope that Respawn considers this being the norm for casual play." I mentioned this post in a video I made a couple weeks ago. Daniel Klein had originally responded to this saying that they're carefully considering whether they should remove gray loot from the game and make the Locked and Loaded takeover a permanent addition to Apex. So one guy responded to this comment saying, "How is removing gray loot a downside? I just don't quite understand. You have more loot pool space to play around with for other hop-ups and items." Daniel Klein did respond to this comment saying, "This is one of those things that may not even be a problem at all, but us game designers tend to get all wrapped up in anticipating it. Basically, there's a reason loot exists in Apex. There's actually many reasons. Some of those reasons are that the journey from low-level loot to high-level loot gives you things to do that aren't just find and kill the enemy. It makes teams organically spread out, and it adds RNG to soften skill differentials." Basically, he said by removing gray loot, there's a possibility that some big problems could appear in the future of the game. Towards the end of his comment, Daniel Klein talked about what developers are currently thinking about this issue. He said landing with gray body armor, a gray helmet, and a gray knockdown shield would probably work in Apex. Removing gray helmets and gray knockdown shields from the loot pool would also work. However, they don't want to remove gray armor from the loot pool, as this would result in too many blue and purple body shields, as well as it would hurt the ability to armor swap in the beginning of the game. So he didn't mention anything about them adding a weapon for when you first land in the game. Obviously, this was probably the biggest point of the Locked and Loaded takeover, and one of my favorite things about it, just having any kind of weapon to deal damage to the enemy, especially if you get yourself into a situation where you can't find a gun, or maybe your teammates die and you're just left with nothing. So when I learn more information about the future changes of the loot pool, I will definitely keep you guys updated in a video. We also have another comment from Daniel Klein on a completely separate post talking about some audio updates that the Legends will probably be getting in the next couple of weeks. So this originally came from a video post about Octane. One guy had commented saying, "I'm fully aware this isn't the time for it. However, don't you think Octane's jump pad should have a more visible or audible cue? This is basically teleportation with no sound, exactly the kind of situation you've been avoiding for 4 seasons with Loba's Tactical. I can hear and see Pathfinder, Loba, and Horizon, but not Octane." Then Daniel Klein responded to this saying, "We're working generally on having better player traveling through the air sounds for all cases when you're in the air. Should fix it for the jump pad too." So basically this just means that there's going to be some kind of audio or visual cue when a legend is in the air, because they basically become silent ninjas, especially if you go off Octane's jump pad. There's literally no way to know that the enemy is pushing you unless you see them flying through the air. So some good changes that we're probably going to be getting in the next couple of weeks. Before I talk about some of the the datamined and leak information, I do want to go over with you guys this tweet from Tom Cassiello going over the brand new Apex Legends comic series called Overtime. So as you guys know, Pathfinder's Quest was just released about a month ago. Dark Horse Comics is apparently working with Apex to create a new series of comic books, this time called Apex Overtime. There's apparently going to be 4 different issues, each one of those issues costing about $3.99. But what's cool about this comic is that according to Tom Cassiello, everything that happens in this comic is also going to have some relation to the story in the game. In his tweet, he said, yes, this comic is canon. Yes, it's a story by the writing team. It will affect the dialogue in the game. Events will transpire that will affect the Legends stories, and that they've been very busy the last 18 months. So this is either going to be really good news for some people or not so good news. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but I am a little concerned that, Apex is kind of switching from in-game lore over to comic book lore. And by that, I don't mean that Apex is going to stop in-game lore. I don't expect that to ever happen, but it looks like a lot of their story is kind of being moved over to these comic books. So rather than being able to find out everything about the lore through either in-game events, through YouTube or Twitter, you're now going to have to find out big pieces of context by reading these comic books. So not sure how that's going to play out. I'm still hoping to get a lot of free lore along the way, but that is something to keep in mind about the future of this game. Moving on to some datamined information, this coming from Shrugtal. He made a tweet a couple days ago talking about some game files for the next legend coming into Apex, or potentially, I should say. We don't know for sure if this is related to the next legend, but it is very possible. He said, while I'm at it posting snippets of code, might as well mention this new data structure called Missile Multiple Targets Data. Has no business being in this patch as there was nothing added that uses it. I'm wondering if it's related to the next legend. So it definitely sounds like an ultimate ability, and while it would be cool, it also sounds insanely terrifying, man. So I remember playing in Overwatch back when Pharah had an ultimate very similar to this, and it would just destroy people. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to affect the meta, not even sure if this is related to the next legend, but if it is, that's definitely going to be interesting. Now, Shrugtal also made a tweet talking about the Chinatown skin bundles. Shrugtal also mentioned that the Chinatown event is most likely going to come right after the Chaos Theory event ends. We're not 100% sure on that, but that's the only information that we have right now. These are going to be the bundles contained within this event. There's going to be 4 different skins that you can get, one for Lifeline, Bloodhound, Mirage, and Wraith. There's also going to be a bundle where you can buy all 4 of them together, but you won't be able to buy each skin individually. It looks like every single bundle is either going to have a banner pose, a weapon charm, a weapon skin, or some combination of the 3. Just want to let you guys know, in case you were hoping to pick up some of these skins, you're probably going to have to set aside a little bit of extra money just to be able to afford these bundles. Now, to end this video, I do want to go over with you guys some information I found regarding the April Fool's Day event. This came from a Brazilian data miner known as incieees. I think that's how you pronounce it on Twitter. He made a tweet saying that April Fool's Day will work as follows. At the beginning of the games, every 15 deaths, a loot ball will appear. When half of the players are killed in a match, a loot ball will be generated for every 10 deaths. And apparently the total number of loot balls that we'll be able to have on the map at one time is 160, and this is just to avoid problems with the server. He also said the loot will have a tier score, meaning the higher the tier score, the more chance you'll have at getting some legendary items in these loot balls. Now, this is basically all of the information we have on this event. Now, I'm sure probably a lot of you guys are wondering whether this means we're going to be able to play World's Edge on April Fool's Day, considering that loot balls only appear on World's Edge. And while this isn't confirmed or anything, we did have a couple days where we went to Kings Canyon last season while Kings Canyon was out of the rotation, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had a couple days of World's Edge, but again, we're just gonna have to wait and see if this event is even what we get. If I do have more information on April Fool's Day, I'll be sure to let you guys know in a future video, but that's basically all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like on this video if you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.